our Father, Messiah, and Holy Spirit with us. Not smiling at, well, I have to talk to the family, but I'm smiling because I got storage on my phone. The word of our Father in heaven that came is zepheniah, son of Cushai, son of Gedaliah, son of Amariah, son of Hezekiah, during the reign of King Josiah, son of Ammon of Yehuda. I will sweep everything away from the face of the earth, declares our Father in heaven. I will sweep away man and beast. I will sweep away the bird of the sky and the fish of the sea. I will make the wicked stumble, and I will destroy mankind from the face of the earth, declares our Father in heaven. I will stretch out my arm against Yehuda and against all who dwell in Jerusalem, and I will wipe out from this place every vestige of Baal, in the name of their priestlings, along with the priests and those who bow down on the roofs to the host of heaven, and those who bow down and swear to our Father in heaven, but also swear by Malcolm. Malcolm, the abomination of the Ammonites. And those who have forsaken our Father in heaven, and those who have not sought our Father in heaven, and have not turned to him. Be silent before my Father, Elohim, for the day of our Father in heaven is approaching. It says, and those who have forsaken our Father in heaven, and those who have not sought our Father in heaven, and have not turned to him, be silent before our Father in heaven, Elohim, for the day of our Father in heaven is approaching. How you doing, bro? The day of our Father in heaven is approaching, for our Father in heaven has appeared. A sacrifice of feast has bidden his guests purify themselves, and on the day of our Father in heaven sacrifice, so punish the officials and the king's sons and all who don a foreign vestment. I will also punish on that day everyone who steps over the threshold, who fills their master's palace with lawlessness and fraud. And that day there shall be, declares our Father in heaven, a loud outcry from the fish gate, and howling from the Mishnah, and a sound of great anguish from the hills. Yet the dwellers of the Mashtech howl, for all the tradesmen have perished. All who weigh silver are wiped out. At that time I will search Jerusalem with lamps, and I will punish the men who rest untroubled on their leaves, who say to themselves, our Father will do nothing, good or bad. Their wealth shall be plundered, and their homes laid waste. They shall build houses and not dwell in them, plant vineyards and not drink their wine. The great day of our Father is approaching most swiftly. Hark, the day of our Father, it is bitter. There a warrior shrieks. That day shall be a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of calamity and desolation, a day of darkness and deep gloom, a day of densest clouds, a day of horn blasts and alarms against the fortified towns. In the lofty corner towns I will bring distress on the people, and they shall walk like blind men, because they sinned against our Father in heaven. Their blood shall be spilled like dust, and their fat like dung. Moreover, their silver and gold shall not avail to them on the day of our Father's wrath. In the fire of his passion the whole land shall be consumed, for he will make a terrible end of all who dwell in the land. Gather together, gather, O nation, with shame, before the day is decree, before the day the decree is born. The day flies by like the chaff, before the fierce anger of our Father in heaven overtakes you, before the day of anger of our Father in heaven overtakes you. Seek our Father in heaven, all you humble of the land who have fulfilled his law. Seek righteousness, seek humility, perhaps you will find shelter on the day of our Father's anger. Indeed, Gaza shall be deserted, and Ashkelon desolate. Ashdod's people shall be expelled in broad daylight, and Ekron shall be uprooted, odd nation of Cherethites, who inhabit the sea coast. There is a word of our Father against you, O Canaan, land of the Philistines. I will lay you waste without inhabitants. The sea coast, Cheroth, shall become an abode for shepherds, and folds for flocks, and shall be a portion for the remnant of the house of Jehudah. On these pastures they shall graze, their flocks shall lie down at eventide in the houses of Ashkelon, for our Father, their Elohim, will take note of them, and restore their fortunes. I have heard the insults of Moab and the jeers of the Ammonites, who have insulted my people and gloated over their country. As surely as I live, declares our Father of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, Moab shall become like Sodom, and the Ammonites like Gomorrah, clumps of weeds and patches of salt, and desolation evermore. The remnant of my people shall plunder them. The remainder of my nation shall possess them. That is what they'll get for their haughtiness, for insulting and jeering at the people of our Father of hosts. Of the Father of hosts, our Father will show himself terrible against them, causing all the gods on earth to shrivel, and all the coastlands of the nations shall bow down to him, every man in his own home. Yet you Cushites too, they shall be slain by my sword, and he will stretch out his arm against the north and destroy Assyria. He will make Nineveh a desolation, arid as the desert. In it flocks shall lie down, every species of beast, which wild jackdaws and owls roast on its capitals. The great owl hoots in the window, and the raven croaks on the threshold, for he has stripped its cedar work bare. Is this the happy city that dwelt secure, that thought in her heart? I am, and there is none but me. Alas, she has become a waste, a lair of wild beasts. Everyone who passes by her hisses and gestures with hands. Ah, sadly polluted, overbearing city, she has been disobedient, has learned no lesson. She has not trusted, and our Father has not drawn near to her Elohim. The officials within her are roaring lions. Her judges are wolves of the steppe. They leave no bone until morning. Our prophets are reckless. Faithless fellows, her priests profane what is holy. They give perverse rulings. But our Father in heaven in our midst is righteous. He does no wrong. He issues judgment every morning, as unfailing as the light. The wrongdoer knows no shame. I wiped out nations. Their corner towers are desolate. I turned their thoroughfares into ruins with none passing by. Their towns lie waste without people, without inhabitants, and I thought that she would fear me, would learn a lesson, and that the punishment I brought on them would not be lost on her. Instead, all the most eagerly they have practiced corruption in other deeds. But wait for me, says our Father in heaven, for the day when I arise as an accuser, when I decide to gather nations, to bring kingdoms together, to pour my indignation on them, on my blazing anger. Indeed, by the fire of my passion, all the earth shall be consumed. For then I will make the peoples pure of speech, so that they all invoke our Father by name and serve him with one accord. From beyond the rivers of Cush, my suppliants, that's beautiful, shall bring offerings to me in fear, Puziah. In that day you will no longer be shamed for all the deeds by which you have you have defied me. For then I will remove the proud and exalt him within you, and you will be haughty no more. On my sacred mount, what I will leave within you a poor, humble folk, and they shall find refuge in the name of our Father. The remnant of Israel shall do no wrong, and speak no falsehood. A deceitful tongue shall not be in their mouths. Only such as these shall graze and lie down with none to trouble them. Shout for joy. For Zion, cry aloud, O Israel, rejoice and be glad with all your heart, fair Jerusalem. Our Father has annulled the judgment against you. He has swept away your foes, Israel's sovereigns. Our Father is within you. You need fear and misfortune no more in that day. This shall be said to Jerusalem, have no fear, O Zion, let not your hands droop. Your Elohim, our Father, is in your midst, a warrior who brings triumph. He will rejoice over you and be glad. He will shout over you with jubilation. He will soothe with his love those long disconsolate. I will take away from you the woe over which you endured mockery. At that time I will make an end of all who afflicted you, and I will rescue the lame sheep and gather the stray, and I will exchange their disgrace for fame and renown in all the earth. At that time I will gather you, and at that time I will bring you home, for I will make you renowned and famous among all the peoples on the earth, when I restore your fortunes before their very eyes, said our Father in heaven. Amen. Yeah, Father, the Son, and the Spirit be with us.